before, right? So I did another search, work from home business, because a lot of people might search work from home jobs. Work from home business, same story. You know, bit choppy at the bottom and then bang, skyrockets. Skyrockets. In fact, it's one of the only things that's skyrocketing right now with home deliveries and a couple of other services. But network marketing and working from home is now just overnight become one of the most coveted, prestigious professions anyone can have. And you're going to see when the dust settles, I'm telling you now from experience, I've been around the industry my entire life, when the markets have uncertainty, when confidence is low, when people think they're going to be going to war or they're going to be losing their jobs, that's when people start to look. When the economy dips, network marketing thrives because people want their control back. Social media is the way how you can work from home. You turn it from a belly-to-belly business to a screen-to-screen business. My belly is here, your belly is there, there's a screen or a lens in between. That's all the difference is. Now, yes, social media, you are going to need to increase your activity levels by about 10 times, right? If you speak to one person offline, you're probably going to have to speak to 10 online. If you speak to 100 offline, you're probably going to speak to 1,000 online. But it's fast and it's easy. So how do we do it? So the first up, I've got a script for you. Now, I'm going to say the script out loud, but I'm also going to put it on my screen here. So feel free to screenshot this script and send it and share it with the rest of your team. Now, there's power in numbers, guys. The more of us who sends this, number one, the more energy we're going to get out there. Number two, the more love and appreciation we're going to get there. And number three, the more we're going to create this fear of missing out, because when someone receives a similar message from 2, 3, 4, 5 people in a row, they start thinking like, I'm missing out on something. Who's telling people to send these messages? I want to do it too. And you're going to understand when I'm saying this. Now, this is something that every single one of you can send, but not everyone's going to send it. Why? Because you're staying in your head. The more you think, the more you doubt. The more you doubt, the less you do. The less you do, the more you think. There's a cycle. The more you think, the more you doubt. The more you doubt, the less you do. The less you do, the more you think. The more you think, the more you doubt. The more you doubt, the less you do. The less you do, the more you think. It's a vicious cycle. That's why overthinkers don't achieve anything, because they get stuck in their head. So I want you to make sure, I want you to say to me out loud, write it in the comments if you're able to, I'm in, or all in, or let's go, or let's go pro, right? I want you to write something like that in the comments, because here we go. This is where you start to become an action taker and not an action faker. Getting caught in the scroll hole, becoming a scroll zombie. Don't be doing that. Let's be reaching out, because here's the thing, guys. Action marketing beats attraction marketing, right? Too many of you watching this thinking social media is all about people coming to you. No, you've still got to go out there and prospect people, right? Action marketing is faster than attraction marketing. The word action is in the word attraction. All right, so here's the script, okay? Here's the script. Hey Mary, or Bob, don't call people who aren't Mary, Mary, please. Hey Mary, hey Marina, hey Eric, hey Bob. Hey Mary, I know this might sound crazy as we don't know each other, but I'm on a mission to fill social media with love and eliminate fear. So wanted to reach out and see if you and your family are safe during and well in these troubling times.
Brooks, everybody, and I hope you took notes aggressively through that process. I hope that you were really kind of focused on capturing some of these ideas, because the key now is to be more focused on being busy than being perfect. You know, he gave you some ideas on what you can do to take some action right now. I gave you some ideas on what you can do on starting some conversations. We talked about the value of getting coaching and becoming wiser without getting older. We talked about the importance of developing some fundamental skills inside of our profession. I also got to tell you that your company and your team probably has a series of Zoom calls or Zoom events scheduled for the next week. My encouragement to you is to really focus on filling those Zoom experiences up. Even if they're team-oriented Zooms, invite your prospects to come check it out. You know what I would want to see if you were trying to recruit me? What I would want to see is show me behind the scenes. Show me a team call. Show me a company update. Show me the real thing, not just the fancy, glitzy outside. Show me what's really going on. Invite me onto a Zoom like this, or it's not a Zoom, but invite me onto a broadcast like this. Let me kick the tires of this network marketing thing. I mean, if some of you are prospects and checking this out, you're probably thinking a little different by now. about network marketing than you have in the past, okay? When you've heard from these people so far, and just so you know, we've gone almost 2 hours. We still have to hear from Les Brown, Tony Robbins, and Pete Vargas. Still, there's a lot of training still coming, some incredible value from these incredible thought leaders. And with that, why don't we just go, I know Les Brown is ready to be able to chat with us right now. He is a global treasure. If you don't know about him, you should. And he's got a very important message for each and every one of you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, Mr. Les Brown.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, I'm Les Brown, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, and I'm hungry to share a thought with you. We are in a crisis, and crisis in the Chinese language means danger, but it also means opportunity. A lot of people are running scared. They say that fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face it. Always going to be challenges in life. My favorite book says, think it not strange that you're faced the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you, you will have tribulations. So let me share with you 3 things that I think would be of stop. Keep on moving. It's not over until you win. It's a speech I gave in the Georgia Dome. You just go online and see Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. I was scared out of my wits, but I rose to the occasion and gave the speech anyhow. And I don't even remember the speech. I was so scared. That's number one. So you want to inundate your mind with a lot of motivational messages and read at least 30 to 40 pages of something positive every day. And turn off the television. If the world blows up, somebody will tell you about it, okay? Let me share something with you. I was checking my blood pressure after watching Fox, and it went through the roof. I said, oh my God. People say garbage in, garbage out. No, garbage in, and it stays. So if you watch a lot of television, I'm telling you what I know. It will scare the wits out of you. I got so scared. My daughter, Ona, she came in the room to see me. She said, Dad, where are you? And I had crawled under the bed. I said, I'm under here. She said, what are you doing under here? I said, I'm hiding from Corona. She said, you have lost your mind. I said, I know, to the television. It's addictive. So don't watch things that's going to scare you out of your wits. Number 2. My son has a saying, John Leslie, and it is, maximize your downtime. This is a time to review your goals. This is a time to look at what it is you want to do next and raise the bar on yourself. Engage in beginning to reinvent yourself, rethink your life, and develop a strategy that will allow you to grow through this time rather than just go through it. My daughter Ona said that gaps are from God. And so as we look at this time, that we have time to reflect on our lives, to deepen our relationships with family members and the people that we love, it's really a great opportunity to do that. We've never been in this place before. Do you hear me? I'm 75. I've never seen anything like this in my life. But we want to maximize our downtime, as John Leslie says. And the next thing that's very important, that is, you want to continue to create connections and communication, even though you're apart from the people that you're building a business with. This is a time to stay in relationship, to have conversations about just life in general. And I found some funny things on the internet that keeps me laughing. You got to laugh sometime, because this stuff that's going on right now, you can't make this stuff up. And so this is a time that you want to reach out and continue to maintain and to grow and develop your business with collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. This is no time to be in isolation. We need each other. This is a time to turn to each other rather than on each other. And here's the other thing. I want to give you a fourth bonus. Volunteer to help someone. I'm talking to you right now. I'm dealing with 4th-stage cancer. And I remember when Dr. Alfred Golson, the oncologist, said to me, Mr. Brown, you have 4th-stage cancer. I said, can you give me a second opinion? He said, yes, and you're ugly too. And then he said, you got this, man. You got this. Now, what did he do? He interrupted my thinking. How people live their lives is a result of the story they tell themselves. There are a lot of people who are saying, I can't deal with all of this. This is frightening. And that's what psychologists call their self-explanatory style. You, as network marketing pros, are messengers of hope. You, when you speak, you bring people out of a dark place into the light. When you speak, you disrupt their thoughts about fear. It's a difference between having thoughts of faith in your heart or allowing the fear thoughts to possess you. And when you speak, you distract, dispute, and inspire. You distract them from their fearful thoughts and wanting to run and hide. And you inspire them to stand up and rise up during this time. Your voice is needed now. We have a vehicle that allows us to control our own personal economy and to build a legacy. You have something special. You have greatness in you. This has been Les Brown, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
The best laugh in the world. Mr. Les Brown, thank you, Les, for sharing. Thanks for your wisdom. Thanks for your thoughts. Thanks for your body of work, because it's been amazing and continues to be amazing. I hope you're getting value from this. We're heading into the Power Hour, this final hour of the GoPro World Tour. Hope you have at least 5 pages of notes by now. If not, make sure that you start writing fast and get yourself caught up. Make sure you capture as much as you possibly can. In the next hour, you're going to get more training from me. You're going to hear from Tony Robbins, and you're going to hear from Pete Vargas on how to craft your story without being pushy in these challenging times. It's the most amazing hour we got lined up for you. The best is yet to come. We're going to be back in 3 minutes. Go get yourself refreshed, and we'll see you then. Welcome back, and let's head into our final hour of the GoPro World Tour. I hope you're getting value. I know for me, the only thing that I lack is your energy from being in the room, but when I travel around the world speaking to different audiences, it's always amazing to be able to look people in the eye. But I gotta tell you, I still feel the energy. I still feel the connection. I still feel the heart and soul of this community around the world. All of us coming together, all of us rising to the occasion, all of us deciding, you know what I mean, to really become a professional. As I talked about early here, I talked about, number one, the thing that you need to do is you need to decide that you're going to do this. Decide you're going to become a network marketing professional. Decide that you're not going to let distractions or fears or doubts get in the way. Regardless of the amount of support that you're enjoying right now, regardless of the circumstance you find yourself in, decide you're going to become a network marketing professional, because once you make that decision, what you'll realize is that nobody can stop you. Nobody can stop you. This is on you. You've got this, and you can do this. I really struggled in my network marketing experience. I struggled much more prior to my network marketing experience, but once I made the decision, success was coming at me like a freight train. It really was. So that's number one. Number two, the skills are the thing. You've got to develop the skills as quickly as you can, as competently as you can. And here's why skills are important. If you develop the skills, it will build confidence. Have you ever had something you're confident in your life? It'll build confidence. And when you have confidence, do you take more action or less action? You take more action. So If you build the skills, you'll build your confidence. You build your confidence, you'll take more action. If you take more action, you're going to get better results. Good or bad doesn't matter, because if you get a bad result, it's going to help you develop a stronger skill, right? If you get a good result, it's going to reinforce that skill that you developed. So skills develop confidence. Confidence causes you to take action. Action is going to get you results, which is going to give you the feedback you need and the reinforcement you need to develop even further skills. And it's a virtuous cycle. Up and up and up you go. And if you're focusing on your upline, if you're focusing on your company to do this for you, if you're focusing on your downline to do this for you, if you're focusing on the outside world to take care of you, you know, it's not going to be the life that you imagined. But if you'll take charge of your skills, you get them done in a hurry. Once I made the decision to go pro, 3.5 years into my network marketing experience, I made the decision, I'm doing it. And 3.5 years after that, my income was $980,000 for that year. I was 29 years old. I went from struggle and pain to just absolutely committing to learn the skills. I got competent pretty quick, and I started developing some income. And then I became more and more professional as I went forward. I would encourage you, rip the Band-Aid off and get as highly skilled as you can, as quickly as you can. And we're going to give you some tools in order to be able to do that quickly a little bit later in this hour. So decide, number one, skills. Number two, number three is coaching. It's the biggest shortcut in the world. Your ability to get somebody who's already gone before, knows what it is that you want to learn, and helps you become smarter without becoming older. You know what I mean? Helps you shave off years off of your timeline. So it's my strongest advice. I started with it, I stay with it. And you need to really commit to it. And I'm going to give you 3 more things that I think all of you need to consider as we go into this final hour, and as you hear from Tony, as you hear from Pete, you make a decision to really step into professionalism for yourself. Network marketing can be a dream if you make a decision, you commit to skills, you get some coaching, get there quicker. It can be a nightmare if you just are too proud to take a step and to get uncomfortable in order to be able to get where you want to go. So first thing I would tell you is you need to think bigger. The world is not served by you playing small. You need to think bigger than you've ever given yourself permission to think before. You need to think bigger in terms of how many customers you're going to help this year. You need to think bigger as far as how many people you're going to personally recruit in your team this year. You need to think bigger about the rank advancement that's going to happen inside of your business. You need to think bigger about the number of people you're going to get to attend the online events and eventually face-to-face events. You need to think bigger about the rank advancement success inside of your organization. You need to think bigger when it comes to the market share that you're going to capture inside of your company. You got to think bigger. Give yourself permission to think bigger. There's a great book called The Magic of Thinking Big by Schwartz. You need to read that book, because big thinking unlocks your imagination and it starts to attract the life that you want to live. Think bigger than you ever thought possible. Number 2, you need to be stronger now than ever. You need to be stronger than your circumstance. You need to be stronger than your fears. You need to be stronger than the distractions. You need to be stronger. Stronger than your upline, stronger than your company, stronger than your team, stronger than anything. Right now, leaders are born in these moments. And some of you have never even considered yourself to be a leader, but you're going to leave this crisis a leader because of the actions you're going to take. And I'm not saying you have to totally believe every part of it in your body, but you need to show the world your best version of yourself. You need to fill your organization with hope and belief and vision. You need to unlock their imagination. You need to be stronger than any possible thing that could get in your way. You got to be stronger now for your family, for yourself, for your team, for your company, for the world. The world is aching for leadership right now. Be the leader that the world needs. Okay? It's your turn. I don't care if you're a background, I don't care if you're a wallflower, I don't care if you're a behind-the-scenes person. Most leaders were, and they just decided somebody had to do it. And they stepped up. It's time for you to step up. And third, you need to move faster. Success loves speed. Faster. A lot of people wish that we would have been testing this thing on the virus faster. Would that have helped? Yes. What if we did social distancing faster? Would that have helped? Yes. Same thing's true with your business. Go fast, fast, fast. You want to take off with an airplane? You got to get some velocity. You got to give it 100% to get off the ground. Success loves speed. People need you now more than ever. People need to start a plan to be able to work from home now more than ever. People need the solution that you have now more than ever with your products and with your opportunity. So make up in numbers what you lack in skill. Decide to talk to more people than anybody else would. Decide to get to that rank faster. Decide to recruit those people faster. Decide to help people with your products faster. Decide to get more people onto your event faster. Do it today. Do it now. You need to think bigger. You need to be stronger. And you need to move faster. This is a call for all people inside of our profession to raise their game. The world is watching. Yes, we're growing, but we need to lead. People are looking for opportunity. We need to lead. So speaking of leadership, my friend Tony Robbins is unbelievable, truly unbelievable. I want to play a short clip from an event where he spoke at our GoPro Recruiting Mastery, and then he has a special message just for you today. Check it out.
I'm not interested in pumping somebody up or being inspired. I think those things are really important, don't get me wrong. But inspiration without strategy is worthless. And the fact that you're here and that you have all made the jump that most people in the masses will never make. You've bet on yourself. You bet on yourself, you've got courage, you've got faith, you've got some determination, but more importantly, you're working to be a professional. You wouldn't have come here, traveled across the country or the world unless you were really committed to that. And it's what's missing from your industry, and you know it. Of your business, the magnificence of your business is you're in a place where you can get into a business and you don't have to do all the parts of the business. You all know it, right? I'm sure you use the phrase, in business for yourself but not by yourself. Someone else gets to figure out how to create the product and service, how to make sure the production line is running, make sure the accounting is occurring, all those things that wipe out most businesses. And most of you I know, I'm sure know, that most businesses fail. And you picked an industry, though, where you can get in for $100. And you and I both know this is a business. And you're going to have to run it as a business. Right now, most of you are business operators. You're good people. You're committed. You're driven. You're hungry. You care. How many of you got in this business because you really love the product or service and you want to change people's lives? How many are in that place? Say aye. That's not what Eric was doing. Working to really make this where people see it as a profession, run it as a business, and that inspired me. That's why I came by as well. He's shown you what to do. The people around you have shown you what to do. The people in your organization that are incredible role models. They've all started, most of them with nothing, and really lived that dream of every entrepreneur. And you got a business that's actually, you've been smart. You don't have to do the whole business, so your chance of success is much greater, better than it would be in any other business. And the reason we fail is because we give up too soon, because inside of our head, we think we're not supposed to have these problems. Recruiting is the easiest thing in the world when you're in a great state. People come up to you. I'm offering you an easier way to build your business. And the easier way is to be just more real. And when people feel something like that that's authentic, that they want to be a part of. And I really believe that the biggest challenge for the industry you're in is there's so many people in such scarcity, they're trying so hard that they push people away. If you're pulled to a place like this, you're hungry. You have the most important ingredient to life. If you ask me, out of all the people I've met in life, what is the one character trait that guarantees lifelong success? If it's kept alive, it's hunger. If you can find a way to do more for others than anybody else around you, you will have the money. How many got some big dreams? Great. Network Marketing Pro community, it's Tony. Listen, guys, I've spent a few years visiting with you guys, and Eric told me he was doing this kind of digital program for you since everybody has to stay at home, and asked me if I'd just send you a quick message. So first of all, hello. I send you my love during these crazy times of uncertainty. I mean, we're in an unprecedented time right now, so I hope you're home with your family and you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of the people that you love, and I hope you're following all the rules that the government and medical professionals are sharing with you. But I just also want to put some things in perspective. We are not weak, we meaning humanity. We are not, this is not something you have to worry about, is it the end times, life or death, because when things get crazy like this and social media goes crazy, people start putting out every story known to man, and I've seen more fear than I've seen in years. So I just want to reach out to you and call to you as a leader. Leaders don't follow the culture, they create their own. A leader doesn't let somebody just get in their head. They get in their own head and they direct themselves. And in times of uncertainty like this is like wintertime. I've always taught people, all my business owners, listen, you got to be made for winter. There's 4 seasons you could be born in. You can be born in winter, that's when nothing seems to work. It's cold and it's harsh and you're giving your all and it seems like there's no rewards. The beginning of any business feels like winter, but sometimes the economy is in winter too. And in this kind of time, we've got more of the psychology creating an economy that might be in winter. But the most successful people do well in winter. If you look at the Fortune 1000 and say, when were they born? Like winter, tough time. Spring, great thing about what follows winter is always spring. Winter's not forever. Good times are coming. They will come again, no matter how scary it seems. It always happens. After the night comes the daytime. You don't have to worry. If you were God, wouldn't you set it up that way? How cool is that? But look, after winter, there's spring, there's growth, there's opportunity. And you grow and you plant seeds. And then you get to the summertime where it's hot and kind of sweaty. And you're like, where's my reward? Where's my plant? And you just planted the seed. But if you make it through all 4 seasons, you'll get yourself to the fall, right? To where all of a sudden it's autumn and everything's beautiful colors and the fruits on the trees and your rewards are there. But if you don't plant in the springtime because you're lazy or you're tired or you're fearful, you're going to be weeping in the fall, not reaping in the fall. And so my mindset is, of all the 4 seasons you could be born into as a business, you look at the Fortune 1000, the most successful companies on earth, 65% of them were born in the wintertime, in a recession or a depression, right? Look at Disney, look at IBM, look at Chevron, look at Standard Oil, look at Federal Express, look at Whole Foods, all these, I could go on and on and on, Microsoft, Apple, all born in either recession or depression. And if you do well in that time, you will crush it everywhere else. And in network marketing, you need to have certainty to be able to touch other people. And right now, with all this disruption of people's employment and jobs and opportunities, this could be the best time of your entire life if you manage your own head. When I say manage your own head, my teacher Jim Rohn used to say, stand guard at the door of your mind every day. I said, what do you mean? I'll never forget, he said, Tony, it's like, think of it like it's coffee. He said, you don't want anything getting in your coffee. He said, what if your worst enemy drops sugar in your coffee? I'd say, well, then you have sweet sugar or sweet coffee. He goes, that's right. He said, what if your best friend or a family member by accident drops 1 drop of strychnine in your coffee? I go, you'd be dead. He goes, that's right. So watch your coffee because life is both sugar and strychnine. When you listen to the news all day long, it'll poison you. Become a leader. Great ideas are not going to interrupt you. They have to be pursued. So if you really want to do well during this time, you got to really feed your mind. That doesn't mean do that instead of working. It just means you need a portion of your day, 30, 45 minutes, where you're going to feed your mind. You're going to pursue great ideas. You're going to listen to an audio program or watch some video, something that's going to strengthen you. Instead of listening to the same story over and over again until you're hypnotized like everybody else into doing nothing and giving up. Leadership comes from having certainty. Certainty comes from feeding that mind, pursuing those ideas, looking for what can make the difference. So my message to you is during this time, even while you're still home, create momentum, start feeding your mind, strengthening it, designing your plans. So when the season changes, when springtime shows up, instead of being behind, you're ready to rock and roll. You're ready to crush it. Make sense? Good. Well, I hope I get to see you guys again sometime soon. And just remember, again, we're resilient. We can handle this. 650,000 people die every year of the flu. It's horrible, but they do every single year. We're not even scratching the surface of that with this coronavirus. In America, 35 to 80,000 people die of the flu every year. This year, U.S. News and World Report, if you're living in America, as an article, the title is the virus you should be afraid of. It's called influenza A and B. It's normal flu. 36 million people have it. There have been 200,000 office visits, or hospital visits, I should say, in the last 3.5 months this year in the U.S. for the flu, the normal flu. We've had 22,000 people die in the last 3.5 months. That dwarfs anything coronavirus, and we've all made it through it. We're going to make it through this too. Feed your mind, strengthen, take massive action, create momentum, and make this the time that you're made for so you can serve other people, serve yourself, and serve your family. Till I see you again soon, live strong and live with passion.
My friend Tony Robbins. Hope you got value from that. Isn't it cool? I mean, I have to tell you something, just in between all of us, between you and me, I pinch myself. I literally pinch myself. Constantly, C- student, 18 jobs by the time I was 23 years old, found this network marketing profession, and I consider the people that have shared with you my friends, and they consider me their friends. It's just a humbling, amazing thing. And I will tell you, what happened for me can happen for you. And we have Pete Vargas coming up, and it's one of the ones I'm looking most forward to, because the question I'm getting now more than ever is, how do I approach people without feeling like I'm being insensitive, without feeling like it's inappropriate? How do I tell my story in a way that's effective without being pushy? And Pete is an expert at teaching you how to tell your story. So Pete's going to really guide you through that experience, and he's going to really train you on how to tell your story specifically. But before we do that, I want to share something with you. I tasked our team. I said, I want you to get as creative as you possibly can to see how much value we can bring to the network marketing community. And I want you to pull out all the stops. I want you to go as crazy as you can. And one idea was doing this GoPro World Tour online. But another idea was to help you, coach you, and help you develop the skills that you need and the mindset you need in order to be able to succeed. And to be able to deliver it to you in a way that you can do it from home, and to make it as inexpensive as we possibly could make it. So we've done something that is only going to be available for the next 48 hours. It's outrageously packed with value, and it contains several pieces. The first piece is a program that I have called GoPro Academy. GoPro Academy is $300 for the year, and for $300 you get access to every single course I've ever produced. All the events, all the event replays, all the courses, whether it's First Steps or Insanity Boot Camp or Time Management, Social Media, Unstoppable Confidence, Limitless, Radical Duplication, Inviting, you name it. I got all the different workbooks up here. But there's something like, well, there's hundreds of hours of courses and content in there for you to be able to just go study at home. Now, normally people spend $50 a month, $600 a year in order to become a GoPro Academy member. I would like every single one of you to have a one-year membership inside of GoPro Academy, and we're going to put it into this outrageous package that the team put together for you. So part one is GoPro Academy for 12 months, okay? I'll tell you the price in a moment. I already told you what the value was, $600. And it's our most popular program that we have. Part two is I'm going to produce a 7-day deep dive boot camp. you and me, where I'm going to personally mentor you to become competent and profitable in 7 skills, the 7 fundamental skills, in 7 days. And I'm going to start that on April 15th. If you're watching this at some point in the future, we'll see when it starts for you. But I'm only doing this for this group right now. 7 skills in 7 days. Every day, I'm going to come into this studio and I'm going to train you, give you the best I've got on all 7 of these skills. And by the end of 7 days, instead of taking 7 weeks or 7 months or 7 years to get these skills figured out, get a base of competence, I'm going to help you get there in 7 days. Starting April 15th, finishing April 22nd. 1 skill a day for 7 straight days. Deep dive, throw you into the deep end of the pool. You're going to come out of the pool knowing how to swim. Okay? So that course we were planning on selling for $297. We will sell individually for people who want for $297. It starts April 15th, goes to April 22nd. You miss it, you miss it. Okay? So there's GoPro Academy, $600, all the courses for lifelong learning for the next 12 months. And 7 skills in 7 days, intensive boot camp with me. We're going to let you have both of those courses for $297. Or you can make 6 payments of $57 each. $57 a month, pay $57, start to access all this stuff immediately if you need to make payments. Everybody wants to be sensitive. So $297 for both, it's $1,000 worth of value. Or 6 payments of $57. And I think there's a link on the page. Is there a link on the page? There's a link on the page if you're interested in doing that. Please take a step. If there's a better resource than this, I want you to take it, but there isn't a better resource than this. You're going to hear from Pete Vargas in a moment, but I want to tell you one bonus that we're going to put in, that Fraser agreed to put in, is, can you throw that up? Fraser's? Yep. He's going to add to this, for the same $297 or 6 payments, the social media kickoff boot camp, okay? So he's got day 1, planning and goal setting, never run out of people to talk to, get more customers than ever before, become a top recruiter in 2020, and get your newest partners started fast. This is only for the people, this is a $300 value. It's only for the people who do the full pay. Okay? But that's available also. And there's one more that I'm going to tell you after Pete, but our team wanted to make this the biggest no-brainer in the world. So, please consider that if you want to become a network marketing professional. I want to help you, and this is designed to be able to help you. But what I'd like to do now is go to Pete Vargas. Pete, are you there? I can't hear Pete. Can you say again?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you. How you doing, Pete?
Good, man. Hopefully I was customer 001 on that, man. That is a crazy offer.
Right?
And I hope I was number 1. So I want your team to tell me if I was number 1 or not.
All right, all right. Well, Pete is an expert. Pete came into our next level mastermind for top level earners. He did an unbelievable job teaching them the importance of storytelling, the importance of being able to do it effectively instead of being all the kind of network marketing-y. And he also did a workshop for some of those people in Milwaukee with his partner Pat that they just raved about. So since this is the biggest, most asked question right now, how do you tell your story and how do you be effective today without being pushy and salesy and awkward? Pete, I'll let you take it from here. Go ahead and hit it.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to be here. You can hear me just fine, right?
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Hey, everybody, Pete Vargas here. I'm so excited to be here with all of you guys, tens of thousands of people from across the world. And my goal right now for all of you is to help you understand how to communicate. How you communicate today looks different than even how you communicated 3 weeks ago. And I want to give you that framework today, whether you're on social, whether you're on a podcast, whether you're on a phone call, whether you're on your team meetings. I want to give you a framework today that I believe is going to help you serve and help a lot of people who need your help today. And I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you to Eric and Marina for having me here today. I don't take it lightly, but thank you to the industry. I know you don't know me, but when I was 19 years old, 19 years old, I had to figure out how to pay for my college education. I was broke. I was walking around campus. I just had a really bad crisis happen in my life. And I had made it on college campus, but I didn't know how I was going to continue to sustain college campus. And I'm grateful because network marketing, multi-level marketing got me through college. It's the reason I got through college. I wouldn't have gotten through college without it. I believe it's one of the greatest industries that exists because it gives the average human being on this planet the opportunity to start a business without hundreds of thousands of dollars. But like Tony said in his interview there, for a few $100s. And so what I want to do today is I want to help you understand, and this is my give back to the industry, I want to help you understand how to communicate. What I'm about to teach you, it's the same thing that we showed Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins as we helped them build out their speaking team. It's the same thing that we shared with Grant Cardone and his team that made them license this content that I'm about to share with you. It's the same thing that we've shared with so many of the people that we work with, some of the biggest thought leaders on planet Earth, including Damon John, who was taking notes ferociously as we sat there and helped him understand how to communicate more powerfully. Those are all folks that we work with. And I'm excited to bring this to the tens of thousands of people today because I believe today, right now, is probably the greatest opportunity in the history of network marketing and multi-level marketing to be able to serve and help a lot of people. But you cannot do it the way that it's been done. Because I'm a part of the industry, I still continue to get recruited on occasion. And the conversation and the communication typically lives in one bucket. And there are 3 ways that you cannot communicate today. If you communicate in any of these 3 ways that I'm about to show you, it will actually do more damage than it does good. And so I want to help you understand how not to communicate with these 3 C's, but ultimately communicate with this C. And so what I want you to know is I shared this story with Eric and Marina, and what I shared with them is one of the things that we were able to do is Grant Cardone, we sat in Grant's office just like we got the chance to sit at Eric and Marina's house, and Grant's like, this content is amazing. Like, we want to license this. And so they licensed all of our digital resources and they licensed the workshop. And we were at the very first workshop. And I want you to see this because this is one of the deadly C's. I was at this workshop and there were about 30 people in the room, and me and the gentleman that Eric just talked about, Pat Quinn, said, all right, everybody go around and in 1 minute introduce yourself. You got 1 minute. And so everybody started going. And while people are going, I'm seeing how powerful of a communicator they are. Because I'm going to give every one of you in the framework where in 3 minutes, you will have people asking you questions and wanting to know more about you and having you want to go deeper with them here in just a minute. But what happened in that day is people are going around, everybody's going around, and then one young lady gets up, and this is what she says. She said, what if I could show you an opportunity of how you could make more money and lose weight? And a lot of you right now are chuckling across the world because you're like, yeah, immediate red flag, immediate wall, immediate defense went up in that room. I didn't know it went up, but I felt it in myself. And I hadn't stopped anybody along any line thus far. I hadn't stopped anybody. And I stopped her. And I felt like I wanted to coach her. And I didn't want to embarrass her. And I said, I can't remember her name, but I said, young lady, are you in a network marketing company? Are you in a multi-level marketing company? And she said, yeah. How did you know? How did I not know? That is the way that the majority of people try to recruit me and recruit the world, and immediately a wall goes up, defense goes up, and red flags go up. And we began to reshape it and said, listen, I'm not, and then by the way, I told her that, I said a red flag went up and a wall went up and the defense went up right away. 29 other extremely successful business owners in that room all of a sudden, and I didn't know they were going to do this, raised their hand and said, yeah, me too. A wall went up for me too. I was like, no, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I meant to do. My heart was to help coach her. So I said, guys, I want you to see the power of this framework that we're about to coach her in. And so I worked with her. Pat Quinn worked with her. I know you don't know Pat Quinn, but he's a part of our team. And a couple of hours later, we did like a 90-minute masterclass with her and the people in the room. And then she came in front of stage later because everybody had to present their 2 to 3 minute talk. I think it was a 3-minute talk. And she started like this. She said, from the age of 5 years old until 12 years old, all I could remember was being bullied and abused for being a chunky little kid. And all my life, I tried to figure out all the things I could do to change that because it hurt bad. It really hurt. I remember when Billy did this to me when I was in second grade. I remember this story in 6th grade. I remember this story in 9th grade. And nothing worked. I was trying everything. And then she went on to continue to tell the story. And you could hear a pin drop in the room. And you felt goosebumps just like I have right now on my arm. You see, there are 3 deadly C's that I believe in the midst of what's going on in this C, meaning this crisis, that if you fall into these 3 C's, you might get some short-term wins, but it ain't going to be long-term success for you in the way that you communicate. So the 3 ways that I do not want any of you to communicate today, number 1 is what we corrected her on. And what was that? What was she doing? I call it the cheesy communication of network marketing. Eric knows this, Marina knows this. We're on a mission to stamp these 3 C's out, but especially the cheesy communication of network marketing. We are on a mission to stamp that out. So right now, it is not a time to be cheesy or be cheeseball or talk like that. And I think a lot of people who are part of this community, you've learned from Eric and Marina, so you understand that, but I want to reinforce that. It is not a time to start being cheesy in your communication. And by the way, good economy or bad economy, I want that to get rid of. I want that to get rid of. So first C that we got to get rid of is that. The second C, and these all came to me. Right now, in this time and age, you feel like you can cut to the chase. That's the second C, cut to the chase. My neighbor lost their job. I've seen tons of people firing or having to lay off people, not fired, but lay off people. And all of a sudden, they feel like now is the opportunity. I just got to cut to the chase because I want to help them. And you cut to the chase, and a wall goes up immediately again. This imaginary wall that you can't see, she couldn't see, but everybody else in the room felt. And so it's not a time to just cut to the chase. We'll get there, but we can't cut to the chase. That's the second C in this economy that you might be tempted to do. Hey, laid off? Let's talk. No. Laid off? That's why you should have been working at home. No. Laid off? Don't have a job? We can help. Let's be really cautious there. Let's be cautious there because that's the second C that maybe gets a little bit of short term, but it ain't going to have long term. And the third C, and this one is super important right now for you to understand. You cannot try to lead with the C, which is cash. Once again, you might be tempted to lead with, hey, cash, 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 cash. No. Do not lead with that C. So cheesy, I want no market. Cutting to the chase and cash might work in other markets, but it ain't going to work today. And you're going to turn more people off than you turn them on to what you're doing. And right now, you all have the power in your hand to literally shift what's happening in our world today. You have the power in your hand to help people rise up in the midst of chaos and crisis and fear if you communicate well, if you communicate powerfully. And so what is the C, Pete? Okay, I'm not going to be cheesy. I got to figure this out. I'm not just going to cut to the chase. I'm not going to lead with cash, meaning leading with the financial opportunity. What do you need to do, Pete? Well, let me first give you a little bit of a context of the story, because if you get this story, which was another crisis time just in our nation, which was America, but I know we have people from all across the world, you will understand the C in a very powerful way that you have to use in your communication. You see, what you don't know about me is I had a terrible, terrible relationship with my dad. Awful. Abusive dad growing up to me. My grandmother took me away from him when I was in 6th grade because of the things he was doing to me physically, mentally, emotionally, every which way. My grandmother took me away from him and said, "You're never going back to live with your dad." Now you fast forward several years and I'm a youth pastor. I'm 23 years old. I'm bringing in these powerful speakers into my youth group. And one of those speakers that I decided to bring in, his daughter was the first girl killed at Columbine. Any of you remember that? 1999 Columbine? His daughter was the first girl killed at Columbine. And she died, and the month before she was killed, she wrote a paper called My Ethics, My Codes of Life. And she had 6 diaries. And in this paper and this ethics that she wrote for her 5th period English class, she said, I have this theory that if one person will go out of their way to show compassion, that it'll start a chain reaction of the same. People will never know how far a little kindness will go. Yeah, you might have caught into the C that I'm going to talk about here for a little bit, but what I want you to know about her is she stood for that in her paper, and her 6 diaries were her life's journey of how she lined up and she actually lived that message out. And so this man comes into my community, he speaks. I'm 23 years old. My dad hasn't said anything to me really about what he had done to me in the last 10 years. He's in this building. He's actually present. He's live. He's watching. I'm thinking maybe this will move my dad to take action and apologize. And at the end of the presentation, after that man, and this is very, very important, everybody, after that man said, hey, parents in the room, you have no idea how long your kids are going to be here or you're going to be on this earth with your kids. I want you to go tell your kids tonight how much you love them. And some of you need to go ask them for forgiveness for something that you've done to them. And literally that night, my dad went and wrote me a letter. He said, I'm sorry for the father I've been. Here my son is having an impact on hundreds of kids' lives, and I can't have an impact on my only son's life. I'm asking you for a second chance to do things right. And he told me he loved me for the first time in over a decade. My wife and I were weeping and we were crying as we read this letter. He took the man up on his challenge and actually went out and did something about it, took action, because the man led with compassion. And he shared his daughter's story of compassion. And now for the first time in my dad's life, after lots of people trying to recruit him to make things right with me, finally, the very first time somebody led with compassion, my dad heard it and he took action. If you want people to take action right now, you have to lead with compassion. You have to lead in this market with empathy. You cannot be driven by the cheesiness or the cut to the chase or the cash. You've got to lead with compassion. That is what you got to do right now. And I want to share one more story about him. In 1999, our nation was scared. I don't know if Eric and Marina remember this, but we had a nation that was really scared because we had our first major school shooting. And I'm not comparing it to today, but I'm comparing what I'm about to say to today. Back then, everybody was talking and complaining and scared to death. Parents weren't sending their kids to school, and they were afraid. and everybody was pointing the finger and taking blame and blaming everybody else, and there's all this finger pointing, and this man chose not to finger point. He chose to make a decision to forgive the 2 boys who took his daughter's life, and he went and took this message out to compassion out into the world, which we helped him do. And literally, you fast forward several years, and they became the biggest school program in schools across the world, taking this idea of compassion out to the world. Right now, the way that you've got to lead in recruiting more people into your business, because listen, they need in your business. Like, I hope that these next 6 months are the biggest 6 months in the history of this industry. Now, I also hope that the world shifts and changes, but I believe all of the seeds that you plant in the course of the next 6 or 9 months for the rest of this year, leading with compassion, will set you up to be so successful. So successful. Right now, you've got a pace with them before you lead them into your company. What is pace? You got to pace with empathy and compassion right now, because people want to hear that you understand how they're feeling. They want to understand and know that you know what it's like right now to walk in their shoes. And so I want to give you a couple of practical things that you can do before I wind this down and bring Eric back here in just a second. I want to give you a couple of things that you can do. And so we have this proprietary process called the Story Braid Framework. And I'm only going to talk about one piece of the framework, which is the heart. I'm not going to talk about the rest of the framework. I'm just going to talk about the opening heart. Like right now, if you can lock and center in on the hearts of humans and lead that heart, lead with compassion, be the one who communicates with compassion, and you win that heart, they will be in your business. They will be a distributor. They will be a customer, more likely a distributor in today's market, really. But you got to understand how to communicate. And so it starts by winning their heart. Let me give you a few practical things of how you communicate with compassion to lead and win over their heart. The first thing you have to do right now in this market is communicate in a way that helps people understand that you know what they're going through. Not about your business opportunity, not about your product. Like, man, the world is hurting. They're losing jobs. They're losing their finances. Like, you've got to make sure they understand that they can find themselves in you. Like, that you can connect with their heart immediately. Like, connect with their heart immediately by making sure you're actually real and transparent and compassionate and communicating in a way that helps them understand that you know what they're feeling. People don't care how much you know. They want to know that you care. Maya Angelou has an incredible quote that I love around that. They'll forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And if you feel cheesy, if you feel cutting to the chase, and if you feel cash driven, they will pick up on that, and the wall and red flag will go up in their subconscious. You want to break that wall down? I'm giving you the power, and I'm trusting that you guys will do this in an authentic and sincere way. Is you've got to first connect with their heart by them understanding that you know what it's like to be walking in their shoes. Whether you're putting out content on social, you're recruiting people to come to some of your conference calls, like the messaging has to be that. The second thing you want to do with this heart, the second thing you want to do is now their guards are down a little bit because you've connected with them. People now are more open to having conversation, and they don't want to see that you're this extraordinary person driving this amazing car, living in this incredible house, debt-free, set for life, semi-retired. That's not the conversation that's going to happen now. They want to know that you're ordinary and that you've walked in their shoes before. And you've got to know what their shoes are right now. Listen to the market right now of where it's at. I'm asking people, how do you feel right now? Like, what is your biggest concerns? I'm asking our community that, and they're telling me. And as they tell you and you listen, those are the words that you got to hear, because you've got to make sure that you relate that you are ordinary and that you've walked in their shoes before, that you've faced crisis before, that you've went through it before. And then, and only then, do they want to know that you're extraordinary and that you've gone somewhere that they want to go, but it was from some place of crisis or difficult times or hardship. It doesn't have to be a financial crisis. It could be a relational crisis. It could be a health crisis. It could be something that shifted it and turned it around. Once they know that you are ordinary, they then want to know that you've done something extraordinary, because that's ultimately where they want to be. But they don't want to be there until they know that you know what it's like to walk in their shoes today. Man, I hope you guys grasp that. I really hope that you get that, because that is an incredible piece. And so the second thing that you want to do in this opening heart is the ordinary and extraordinary. Make sure people understand that you've been walked through that, but you've gone somewhere that they want to go, because now that's going to open up the conversation with them beginning to ask you questions. And the third and final thing that you want to do just in this opening heart, I'm not even talking about the head, the hands, the heart. I just wanted to bring you one nugget around the opening heart. One nugget around the opening heart. The last thing that you want to do in these times is do a little digging and ask yourself, what is my why right now? What is my why? What is my why? Like, what is my why? And here's the criticalness to this. You want other people to find themselves in your why. And so my why is that I want to help our community get on 1,000,000 stages by 2027. To share their messages and their stories with the world. And now I've even shifted a little bit to say, I want to help our community get on 1,000,000 stages by 2027. And the number one stages that they're going to get on is our virtual and digital stages, because there is an abundance of them that they can do straight from their own home. And here's what happens is, if you can have an empathetic and compassionate why that you can have in conversations with people, they will find themselves in your why. If they find themselves in your why, they start asking the question, how do I work with you? How can you help me? What can we do? I need help. I want to be that extraordinary. They're not going to use the word extraordinary, but I want to move from that ordinary position you were in to go into the extraordinary. And I want to be one of those people in your why. That's the third thing that you want to do in this opening heart. When you begin to do those three things, the game shifts. The game shifts. People feel connected to. They feel out of isolation. They don't feel depressed. They don't feel anxious. They feel connected. They feel heard. They feel loved. And they've now come in and said, tell me more. I want to close with this story before I bring Eric back up. I told you that network marketing got me through college after a really hard hardship. But what I didn't tell you is that I played collegiate tennis, and my grandmother went and worked another job just to help get me through college, because my parents didn't have the money to help me with college. My grandmother went and worked another job. I got a small little college scholarship. I got a little bit of a Pell Grant, and that's how I got through college. And I was playing collegiate tennis. And one day I'm going out to my car to go and drive to tennis practice. All my rackets are in there. My car's in the parking lot of my college campus, Midwestern State University in Wichita Falls, Texas. And I go and I find and look for my car, and I can't find my car. Well, what I come to find out is that my car had been repossessed. And it was the gift that my dad had given to me, but my dad wasn't able to afford the payments, and he didn't tell me that. My rackets were gone. My car was gone. I was in tears. I didn't know how I was going to make it now. Like, I had no transportation, no tennis rackets. I was already struggling to be on that college. I decided to go last minute because I had some friends really, really encourage me to do that. And then I ran into a lady in my church. And a lady in my church didn't get cheesy with me. A lady in my church didn't shortcut things or try to take a shortcut. A lady in my church didn't cut to the chase or lead with money. A lady in my church was compassionate, and she heard me. She actually gave me some money to be able to get food. And she supported me just helped me. Her and her family, her family became like an extension of my family. And they loved me. They didn't play the short game. And then one day she just told me about this incredible thing that she was a part of. And it was a no-brainer for me to ask her, tell me more about that. Because as Les Brown would say, I was hungry. And that was the very first network marketing company that I ever got in. And I can remember it. I can remember the second one and the third one. And I can remember what network marketing did to get me through college because of someone not being cheesy, someone not cutting to the chase, someone not talking about all of the cash stuff that I could get, but someone leading with compassion. You lead with compassion, industry. You lead with compassion, all of you walk around the world as you communicate that heart and you communicate to their heart. What you will begin to see is you will begin to see more distributors, more customers, more volume, more impact, and you will be responsible, a little piece of helping restore the world's economy that's hurting right now. But it's industries like this that are going to change that. So Eric, that's what I would say to everybody today, my man. I think it's an absolute no-brainer what they put out there, what you put out to the folks today. I'm not even in the industry, but I'm going to go learn some skills and some skill sets from you. And man, I appreciate you having me in front of everybody today.
Well, it's my great pleasure. Thanks for bringing value. And we talked about this earlier. I think storytelling is such an important thing. And you're usually a very high fee type of a consultant, trainer, coach when it comes to speaking. But I asked Pete if he would throw in something for people who made the decision, said, yes, I want to take advantage of this offer for GoPro Academy, the 7 skills in 7 days, Fraser Brooks 5-day course, and tell people very briefly, because we're running out of time, tell them what you're throwing in for people who make that decision.
Yeah, so anybody that makes that decision today, what I'm going to do, anybody, is we're going to host a live masterclass. I told you about the young lady who we helped transform in 90 minutes. We're going to do the same type of live. Live. This is me right here. I'm here, like really, really here. I can tell you the time. It's going to be live. And if you can't make the date live, you'll get the recording of it. But we're going to host a masterclass. Pat Quinn, who is literally the one behind some of the biggest names in the world. He's worked with Eric. He's worked with Marina, Damon John. I could go on, and myself are going to host a 90-minute masterclass. We're going to go deeper into storytelling, not just the opening heart of the framework, but the entire 4 parts of the framework. And then, Eric, I made a decision because I've been so motivated today being here with you guys. We're going to do a 90-minute masterclass on that, being a great storyteller, being a great communicator. And then, Eric, I'm going to show them the 11 digital stages right now in this market that they can begin to go then take that message out onto, sharing that message, and then watching a lot of people come into the world asking them, like, can you tell me more about what you do? So we're not just going to do the storytelling where they will never feel salesy, slimy, cheesy. They won't feel cheesy or cutting to the chase or cash driven, but people will feel connected and because of the compassion that they lead with. So we're going to do that for about 65, 70 minutes of that masterclass with templates, worksheets, and then I'm going to transfer into helping them understand how to get on digital stages so that they can increase the volume of people that are coming into their world. Me, and Pat Quinn, both right now. $40,000 is what people invest in a day of our time, and whether it takes 90 minutes or an hour or 20.
Yeah. So let me just recap for everybody, and I appreciate it. But this whole thing, throw up the whole package, okay? Would you please? Not this next one. Yeah, the 7 skills in 7 days. Everybody's going to have access to 7 skills in 7 days. I don't think they can see that on the screen. There we go. 7 skills in 7 days, plus 1 full year to GoPro Academy, plus for people who pay in full, the social media kickoff boot camp with Fraser Brooks, and how to tell your story and prospect without being pushy by Pete Vargas. All of that's included. Now, if you're on full screen, you need to minimize your screen in order to be able to see the link below. If you're on a regular screen, you need to scroll up to be able to see the link below. I highly encourage you to do that. If you want to share this link, because this is good for the next 48 hours. All of this for $297. For the next 48 hours, it's good. If you go to networkmarketingpro.com/7, networkmarketingpro.com/7, that will take care of you. Sorry, GoProWorldTour.com/7, GoProWorldTour.com/7. That's the link for people to be able to take advantage of. I hope you do for the next 48 hours. It's going to be amazing. The team really took the challenge seriously. They wanted to help as many people as humanly possible. To close out, there's a video I'd like to share with somebody. It's by an artist called Estelle that we used to create like a recap of our last GoPro Recruiting Mastery. And it reminds me of the emotional state of being together as a network marketing community. I'd like to share that with you, and then Marina and I will say goodbye. Pete, thank you so much. Check out Conqueror by Estelle, and we'll be back in 3 minutes.